All right, I think we're good. Let me just double check Facebook because once in a while it does something weird. All right, we're all set there.
Are we? Okay, I'm going to share it. Okay, we're shared on mine.
Excellent. All right, well, I will go ahead and get started then. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us today on our live broadcast. I'm Jamie Chavez, the President and CEO for the Westminster Chamber of Commerce, and every week we bring you a series of live broadcasts. Monday's broadcasts are for your backstage pass to City Hall with interviews from City Council members and other key leaders in the city. Wednesdays, we talk about our newest members of the Chamber, providing an introduction to what they have to offer. And on the last Friday of the month, I have the pleasure of talking with Jeffco Commissioner Tracy Kraft Tharp, giving her a chance to inform you on broader county issues. If you're new to the broadcast, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. I encourage you to like our page, and you'll receive notifications for when we go live in the future. Same thing if you're on YouTube, you can hit subscribe and also explore any previous broadcasts there as well. So as you watch the broadcast today, feel free to engage with us, ask any questions, say any comments, or simply say hello in the chat box, and we will get to your comments in the interview. And now warm welcome to Jefferson County Commissioner Tracy Kraft Tharp. Happy Friday.
Hi there. Happy Friday. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how are you today?
I am good. And hello, Mr. Carpenter. Good to see you. So I always like to start out with what's new at the Chamber. So do you have anything exciting happening that you want to share with us?
Yeah, we've got all kinds of stuff going on. We're, it seems like the end of the year should be wrapping things up, but I feel like we're beginning a lot of things actually. So that's exciting. We're getting ready to launch our new business incubator. So that will happen in January, February of 2025. So that's really excited. Help some solo and entrepreneurs with launching their businesses and supporting them in that way. We have just moved into a new space in downtown Westminster. So that's exciting. People can come see us there, but we're still in the move-in phases there, but we'll do a ribbon cutting and a grand opening in January. So that's
so
cool.
Great. And I was just trying to talk you into doing your background at the office.
Yeah.
I think we should have a vote. Everybody that thinks that Jamie should paint the back wall at the new office, post it, and we'll see if we can convince her.
You know, that was quite the project. So I don't know if I'll get around to it, but maybe some wallpaper or something. But it is a nice backdrop. I do like it.
So. You know, it really is, and the lines are straight.
I worked very hard on that.
You did a good job. You did a great job.
Dave votes aye.
Okay, so it's 1-0 so far, Jamie.
Yeah.
And I'm a chamber member, and I'm voting yes. So that's 2-0 so far.
2. All right.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we have going on? We have the Taste of Westminster coming up November 7th. So encourage everybody to come and hang out with us at that. We have like almost 60 vendors this year, with the majority of them being food, drink, and dessert vendors. So that's awesome. So November 7th at the Ice Center on the Promenade here in Westminster. Come on down and hang out with us.
And please save 2 tickets for me. I need to get on and I need to buy our tickets to come. It's always such a great, it's always such a great event.
Yeah, that's a fun one. Mm-hmm. So what about you? What's going on in your world and in Jefferson County?
Well, things are busy as usual. I sent you my list that some exciting news, some exciting events that are happening over at the county. I'm going to start out with some really good news. And that is Sim Street is open. Yay, yay. You know, Sim Street has been, Sim Street from 112th to 128 has been closed for the last year because of the Verve development that's happening. I've seen on Nextdoor, because I follow Nextdoor pretty closely, that people are really confused. So we just don't have a Sim Street now. We have an old Sims and a new Sims.
Okay.
So Sim Street has actually been moved, and it's been moved to the west. And what that does is that allows the airport to be able to extend that runway so that aviation businesses can drive planes in and out. So they had to move it. The old Sims will become Calendar. And do you know what Calendars is?
Mm-mm.
Dave Carpenter, do you know what it is? He's not responding. The airport was founded by a man, I think it was Fred Callender. I might get the Fred part wrong. Fred Callender, um, and I don't know the year. It was before 1960 because that's when the airport opened. So
Okay.
he had a plane, flew in there, and discovered that that was a good place for an airport. So he is the airport. He's the airport founder. So the street will be named Callender Street, named after him. There
Okay.
will be a south calendar and a north calendar with the runway in between. So lots of adventure. But I live on the south side, and I have been one of those people that have had to take Indiana or Westminster or Wadsworth up. And oh, Dave Carpenter wants to know if we could close Sims again. Lincoln and I have to dodge cars getting to our trail in Walnut Creek. Well, I'm sorry about that, but no, going up Sims is so convenient in terms of getting up north, like getting to the Northwest Parkway. There will be a soft opening of Sim Street. I think it's this Wednesday. I encourage people to follow me on Tracy for Jeffco on Facebook because I'll post information about that when
Great.
we may do a soft little ribbon cutting. But Jamie, you should come.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What time is it?
I'm not sure. I think it's at noon.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'll just check your Facebook page.
Okay. Perfect. But it is exciting. My husband has driven on the new Sims, and it's a smooth ride. So that's very exciting. The
Yeah.
Verb development is just moving along. I think they have all of the properties sold. It really is an aviation business park. That'll bring more aviation business to this part of the county, which is pretty exciting. Good,
Yeah.
solid jobs. So that is very good. So that's probably the best news I have of the day. I want to start out with that.
Great.
Um, what will be good news for some people, maybe not everybody, is on Saturday, the November 2nd. I've got notes here. On Saturday, November 2nd, from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, is the Fresh Start event. And if you remember, the Fresh Start event is if you have a warrant and it's been hanging over your head and you haven't taken care of it, this is an opportunity to be able to go there, speak with the attorneys. They will not arrest you, but they will resolve that warrant. It's for low level, nonviolent warrants. And traffic offenses, misdemeanors and traffic offenses, um, some class 5, some class 6 felony property offenses, and class 4 drug felonies. So there are people out there that are sitting with these warrants. They are concerned. It's just been hanging over their head. They haven't known what to do. They've been praying that they don't get pulled over. This is an opportunity to take care of that and have a fresh start. So that's Saturday, November 2nd, 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock at the Jefferson County Administration Building at the Taj Mahal.
All right.
Yeah, so that will be good news for some people.
Yep.
Okay, let's look at the list. Budget. So we are in the process of putting together the 2025 budget. We will have a public hearing this next Tuesday at 9 o'clock for people to be able to give their opinion and their thoughts around the budget. This budget is really complicated to do because the federal dollars, the ARPA dollars, are ending. The ARPA dollars have really been helping us the last couple of years sustain the Jefferson County budget. So this 2025 budget will not have the ability to be able to be um, uh, uh, sustained by the federal dollars. So therefore, we are looking at a 15 to 20 million dollar deficit. Now, people say you just raised property taxes, so what's your problem? You've got more money than you needed. So property taxes were raised because the value of your house increased.
Mhm.
So your property taxes are based upon how much your house is valued. The county receives 27 cents out of every dollar of your property tax. So only 27%. 50 cents of that goes to the school budget. The other goes to special districts, like there's a mental health district, the developmental disability districts, the fire districts. So we received 27%. Last year, that was $42 million. Because we received that additional $42 million, we are covered under the Tabor cap that threw us over our Tabor cap, and we returned $39.4 million to the voters. So everybody received a check last year for about $100. We are anticipating that the over the cap Tabor this year will be $30 million. So people will receive somewhere around $100 again. That'll happen in November. So we are returning $30 million to people. At the same time, we're looking at a $15 to $20 million deficit. We've asked each department to look at what's mandatory services and what is not mandatory services. And we've asked them to put together a 10 to 11% cut and submit that. So this budget that we have put together for 2025 and that we are presenting next Tuesday for public comment has a $15 to $20 million deficit that is covered by cuts to each one of the departments. And those cuts are painful. Those cuts are not, fringe things that nobody will notice. They are things that really help Jeffco be unique and be able to provide good services. But we have to have a balanced budget. So that's the course we're on. What happens? We do have the ballot language on the ballot on November 5th, asking citizens that can we retain that revenue so that instead of returning that $34.4 million, can we use those dollars in our budget? What the ballot initiative says is that we could use those dollars for public safety services or for transportation services. And that every year there would be an audit to ensure that the money is being used for that. So if the ballot initiative passes, then what will happen is our budget staff will go back to the table. They will put together what we're calling a continuation budget, which will cover us. The state law says that we have to have a budget submitted, completed, I think it's by December 15th. So the continuation budget will be put together by December 15th and approved by the commissioners. And then we would look at what the new revenue retention dollars would be able to cover and make changes for next year's budget. Is that totally confusing?
No, I got it. Thank you for explaining.
I mean, God bless our budget staff because they will be spending Thanksgiving and Christmas working on budget numbers, and they will possibly be doing 3 budgets for this year. So this budget, the current budget that we have right now with the cuts in it, possibly a continuation budget, and then a real 2025 budget with the new numbers. So we've got some really hardworking, some really great people in our budget office, and thank you to them for their work on putting all that together.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. It is, but it's important. The budget reflects the importance of what we do and how we do it. And we want to hear the wishes and wants of the citizens election day of what they are wanting. So the first step is again next Tuesday, 9 o'clock in the hearing room at the Jeffco building, the Taj Mahal.
Great. Thank you.
You bet. So I'm going to kind of switch subjects and talk about point in time. Every year, the nonprofit serving our homeless population do a point in time study. So they take one day in January and they get volunteers out to count the number of homeless. And they count the number of homeless that are sheltered, and they count the number of homeless that are unsheltered. And then that gives us an idea of where we're at in terms of the homeless population. Is it increasing? Is it decreasing? Is it staying the same? So every year they ask for volunteers and they go out and do these counts. And then it takes, and I don't know why it takes so long to be able to get the official numbers, but we were able to get the official point in time numbers just recently. And so I want to share them with you.
All right.
So just to give you some context, in 2020, which was a COVID year, so 2020 is always such a weird year for people to be counting.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were 444 total people on the streets. 282 of those were sheltered, so they found them in one of the shelters. 162 were unsheltered. So that's in 2020. That was a COVID year. So this year, 2024, it was something like January 25th that they did this. They had 925 total homeless people that they counted on the streets. 369 were sheltered. 556 were unsheltered. Now, this is what I think is interesting about those numbers is I remember that day, and it was an extreme weather day. So it was one of the cold days. And so even on the cold of the cold days, we had 556 people in Jefferson County on the streets. Sorry, my phone is ringing. Is that going to bother you?
No, we can hear it, but it's all right. We'll just push through.
I know they just called on my cell phone and I didn't take the call. So now they're calling on my home number. I think what's also interesting is of the unsheltered people, they look at who are newly homeless, who are chronic, who are families, and who are individuals. So of the 925, 255 are newly homeless. Okay. And 316 are chronic homeless, long-term homeless. 8 were families and 514 were individuals. So I thought that was interesting. The county has really tried to focus in on working with the families, allowing the local municipalities to be able to work with individual people.
Mm-hmm.
And we really have been working with the families by utilizing a local motel on Colfax that we have rented out rooms and then provided case management services to people. So we've done a rental of those rooms from the motel and then put families in there, done case management to get them out and to be able to get them permanent housing. That really has been our sweet spot.
So how is this data being collected? I'm just curious.
Well, individually.
Okay.
So people can volunteer to help out, and they walk the streets. They go and find them. Now, mind you, the reason why I think it's important to know that was an extreme weather day is the the navigator position. So, the county has a number of navigator positions. Each municipality does also. They go and find the homeless beforehand and tell them, Friday's going to be a really cold day. Where are you going to go? Let's find you a place to go. So I think looking at sheltered and unsheltered might be a little skewed in that way. I don't know if it matters much. I think looking at the drastic increase to 925 people is really what's important.
Yeah, that's a really striking increase.
Yes, it is. And especially being that the county has really been focusing in on prevention. So they have a booth in the court to help people who are moving into eviction proceedings. So they have a booth to be able to help people prevent that and to help people find another place to stay and make sure that they're not going on the streets. So for all the work that we're doing to see the numbers still increase, I think is a little somewhat disturbing.
Yep, that's tough.
Yeah. So we'll see where we're at this next year. And then my last item that I have is good news, because I always like to end with good news.
Start with good news and end with good news.
Start with good news, end with good news. So our workforce department had a career day. And they invited 10th graders from all Jefferson County high schools to come in. And they had 100 employers. They ended up having 3,500 students.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
10th graders come and talk to employers. Isn't that just totally exciting?
Yeah.
So people were able to come in, students were able to come in and talk about, is this the career I want? What do you actually do? What does engineer mean? And what do engineers really do? To find out if that's the career they wanted, to be able to talk with employers about different opportunities that they have. There were employers that actually hired students to come work as interns. So I sit on the board for Mile High Flood District, and they have an intern program where they have a group of youth that come in and learn about floods and Jefferson County and mitigation, and well, not just Jefferson County, it's really the whole Mile High District. So they were able to hire students that were interested in being interns. So it was a great opportunity. So 3,500 10th graders participated. Isn't that the coolest?
Yeah, that is. Yeah. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
We do have one comment. This is unrelated, but Parker wants a sidewalk for the kids on unincorporated part of Jeffco, Old Wadsworth, between Carrabba's and Church Ranch.
I haven't heard this before, Parker. I think you should have brought it up to me before. Hey, Parker, text that to me, okay? And then I will just forward that on to our Director of Development and Transportation. I think I have before. But, that's why the county is looking at 1A, is that we have $650 million worth of transportation and road projects that can't be completed, that we can't get to because we don't have the revenue sources for it. And some of that is sidewalks. So, but I hear you, Parker. Have you had that, Jamie? Have you had that chocolate cake with the white? I don't know what is it, Parker? Is it Cool Whip in between? Oh my God! You need to get some, Jamie.
I'm not.
I gotta tell you. So I really am not a dessert person, but
yeah, I'm not either.
I get cravings for it now.
Oh,
no. So good. So you need to
Parker says it's homemade whipped cream.
Homemade, not Cool Whip.
I do love whipped cream, so
You know what? It is so good. You really do need to get it from Carrabba's. You really do need to get it.
Well, now I'm hungry. Thanks, Tracy.
Sure, not a problem. We're almost at lunchtime anyway, so it's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Did we have another comment?
Let's see. Parker says, come today and I'll buy you one, Jamie. All right, I'll be there.
There you go.
We did have a comment from Dave. He just said that it was cool that the kids were getting an opportunity to experience the engineering profession.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because how do you know when you're in 10th grade? You know, and to be able to have somebody to kind of talk about what is it that you actually do and, you know, is really something I want to pursue. I think it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know as a freshman in college. I didn't know as a senior in college.
And look at you now. You have this prestigious position, president and CEO of the chamber.
Yeah, here
Do we have any further votes in the comments about whether Jamie should paint the background of in the new office, like the stripes?
No new votes on that. I think we're still
Parker, come on. We need your vote.
Well, I'll be sure and put something in the background. Right now it's just a white wall, so.
Oh, good. Oh, I know what else I was going to say. We need to remind people to vote. So the clerk and recorder's office comes out with, you know, they and the Secretary of State send out numbers on a regular basis. As of yesterday in Jefferson County, I think it's 15% of people have voted. So we usually are one of the highest. So we usually get above 25%. But there's over 400,000 people in this county that are registered and able to vote. And so hopefully, you know, we'll get everybody to be able to participate.
Yeah, definitely. I turned in my ballot and got notification that it was counted, so I'm good. But yeah, definitely encourage that.
Good job. And that's the other thing, is to remind people to sign up for ballot tracks, because it'll tell you, send you an email and tell you when your ballot has been processed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of voting, Parker says he votes yes. He has
Yay!
to. Tracy tells him to do.
Of course he does. So that would be 4-0 so far. I just wanted to tell you, JB.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Right.
This might have been a one-time situation, because it kind of was a huge pain.
I think getting your board members to be able to do it at a board meeting would be good.
There we go. I mean, I don't know if I want board members painting the walls. We'll see.
Oh, no, that's true. That's true. So what does he say? His project engineer hasn't received his ballot. No, he definitely needs to call. Definitely. If you have not received your ballot at this point in time, yeah,
you definitely should have your ballot by now. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, we have a couple minutes, Tracy. Is there anything else you want us to know, or anything else you want to chat about?
I think I've covered just about everything. So just to let people know, this is probably one of the first elections that I have not participated in. I'm chose to not run again. My last day at the county will be January 13th. Yeah. And January 14th is swearing in day. So and I will probably attend. That will be exciting to see the new judges sworn in, the new county commissioners sworn in, and then the DA, who is running unopposed. So I think she's going to win.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we are definitely going to miss having you on these broadcasts. So we'll make sure and get the most out of it and have you on for November and December. And then
perfect.
We'll have a tough goodbye.
I've enjoyed this a lot, and I really appreciate you allowing this opportunity. I think it's important to talk about what's happening at the county.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. We've got one more comment here. If I can get my mouse to work. Parker says, thank you so much for all you've done for our county and state. Also, thanks you've done for the chamber.
Thank you, Parker. And chicken marsala and that chocolate cake are my recommendations for Carrabba's.
Yes. Was that Carrabba's a couple couple Fridays ago, or maybe a couple. Yeah, I think it was a Friday, a couple Fridays ago. I think I had the chicken marsala actually, and it was delicious.
It is wonderful. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Now you
Well,
are
thanks
hungry.
so much. I know I am. Now I'm gonna have to go find some food. I'm gonna go eat some chocolate cake at Carrabba's.
Yes. Good idea. Good idea.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for everybody who joined us. And thank you, Commissioner, for being on. It's always a pleasure. And we'll see you again in November.
Sounds great. Thank you. Have a great month.
Yes, thanks. You too. Bye, everybody.
Okay.